All right. So here is the whole syllabus, Joan, and I linked it on the document that we shared for today. So welcome to the webinar series 1 for the school for the Reaching Out grant. And so we have a whole series of webinars planned for the spring. I'm so excited. So, Joan, you're going to do most of the talking today, but I did, the archive will be posted right here when it's all said and done. So I will post the archive. I'll take away the join the Zoom meeting and post the archive instead. And then also the course syllabus. And so you can see everything for the course, the description, objectives, um, the evaluation criteria. And so you are expected to get the graduate credit. You are expected to view the webinar either live or the recording, complete the assigned readings and activities, and collaborate as you're doing that. But you're doing that already in the online classes and doing a great job. So not too worried about that. Course evaluation, webinar attendance is 40 points, but obviously watching the archive counts for that too. And if we scroll on down to the very bottom of the page, we have all the resources. And so you guys got the Digital Citizenship in Action book by Kristen Matson, and so that is the book we're actually using for this course series. And so I'm so excited. It was really fun to dive into the book and make all the connections to this content. And so that's kind of the big overall picture there. So I'm going to pop back to webinar 1, Joan, and I'm going to let you take over.
Thanks, Julie. And again, just a reminder, this is webinar 1, and there will be 4 altogether to equal webinar series 1. And with the webinar attendance and the extra activities, that would equal 15 hours. And we talked about this a little bit, but in chatting earlier, but if you are attending the TIE conference, this would be an additional credit that you could pay for yourself, or you could just receive CEU certificate. You don't have to do the offline extra work if you just want CEU. And if you're not able to attend the TIE conference, this is what you would do for your 4th credit. Do we have any questions about that? I mean, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask right now, because it's confusing, I think, sometimes.
It's all
Makes
confusing.
perfect sense to us, but we've been talking about it for months. Okay. And then again, as Julie said, this series of 4 webinars is based on the Digital Citizenship book. And we want to take you through chapter by chapter, but because of the calendar and the timing of the Digital Literacy Day, we're skipping up away from chapter 1 to chapter, and I keep wanting to say 5, yep, I've double checked, to chapter 5. Because again, the big umbrella idea from Kristen's book is that we want to be participants. We want to be participatory citizens online, and that's what we would like for our students also. So if you can see down the left-hand side, this is my first try at making a hyperdoc type thing instead of using slides. So bear with me, guys. This was my personal challenge, not to make a whole PowerPoint for you. It's getting so that's old school. So anyway, what is Digital Learning Day? Well, Digital Learning Day, and you can click right on your own computer if you want to, right on another tab, right into the website. That's a hot link under there. But it's coming up February 28th, and that's why we're jumping up to chapter 5. February 28th, 2019 is the day. And this started with the Alliance for Education, who are the Future Ready School people, which connects to the Future Ready Librarian people, us. So because it's February 28th, I wanted to give you time to maybe think about participating in some way, and there's some other options in the assignment. But if we go ahead and just click into the map. This started in 2012, and they're saying, well, and you can read at the top of the screen, what is this all about? Why are we doing Digital Literacy Day? Every day should be digital literacy or learning, and it is. But they started this in 2012 as a way to bring the focus to what is already happening in schools, and also the focus to customization, individualization, and school innovation and school, basically, schools using those new tools that are out there in any way possible for kids and for their learning. So there's a mailing list here that you can sign up on, and you can be clicking around as you'd like. But then you'll see there the digital literacy map. It's not just for schools, and it's not, but one of the things that's pretty cool, Julie, can you go back up a little bit to the, well, there's my class I already put on there. And again, one of the things is it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be statewide, but it could be, or district-wide, or even school-wide. I put one thing up for my 8th graders, and we are going to do something that, they've been doing all year long, use KidBlog. But we're going to use KidBlog to communicate and do some fun activities with our kindergarten reading buddies. We're in the same school, but we're in different halls. So we're going to use Go Digital. So if you click on some of those icons, it shows you whether they are libraries or after-school programs, and again, state, district, school, and classroom. And there are a lot of them, if you see, that are other, the one that kind of looks like a pencil. Not too many in North and South Dakota and Wyoming, not yet. But again, you don't have to plan a big event to participate in this. And everything on the map is to show that digital stuff is going on everywhere and all the time. So in 2012, I think it was 2012 or 2013, we had a Rapid School help out by making a video of a 3rd grade class researching with the librarian. They were doing a collaborative unit. And at that time, they wanted you to send in video. One year, there was a teacher from Brookings who actually went to Washington, D.C., because there is a live event that happens. And there's a 1-hour webinar. If you go on back, I might be skipping around. If you go back to the top of your screen, there you go. You can go ahead and click on video profiles for me, Julie. Okay. This is just some highlights of different schools and different districts or even different states, and they're talking about the things that they're doing to truly integrate digital learning in any way possible. And those are listed right down the left-hand side, the different profiles. And some of them are big, huge districts, and some of them aren't at all. Plus, they have saved from year to year, all the highlights and the archives of these things. It's been a little bit different every year, but it's something that I think, even if you just put out an email message or something on your library website, it shows that you're involved in technology, that you're one of these digital leaders also in this national event. So if you click on partners up there at the top, it shows you the many educational partners who are part of this. And ALA is listed there, and AASL in past years has been there separate, but I think you'll recognize a lot of these. There's ISTE, of course, and a lot of these acronyms. And Library of Congress. So librarians have a huge presence in this, and they have from day one. And I think that is part of what led Future Ready Schools and the Alliance for Education, and of course our national library leaders, to get Future Ready librarians involved in all of these types of things too. So I'm hoping that you're clicking around as we're kind of talking and showing you things. In the tools, in the participant tools, can you raise your hand if you've ever participated in any way in these past Digital Learning Day celebrations? Or, right, there aren't that many of us. If you'd like to unmute yourself and tell us, that would be great too.
So Joan, right now it looks like the majority of them that have responded have not participated in
Yeah,
Digital
I'm
Learning
just
Day.
scrolling through too. Thank you. Okay, well.
Well, that'll be good. It'll be something new and exciting.
Right. So basically that's our introduction, but of course you might want to take some time to go back. And if you take another, click Julie another time on that participate for me at the top of the screen there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and down the left-hand side, you'll see that activities and ideas, they also provide the graphics for you. So if you just simply want to put it on your website or out to one of your social media accounts, you could do that. And again, to me, it's just a great message that, hey, we're all part of this digital revolution too. But then they have tools and resources and lessons. And then past Digital Learning Days has quite a bit of information for you. Go back to tools, Julie, because one thing that I found interesting, if anybody remembers, I used to be a total, is it still there? There was, oh yeah, Wikispaces. I loved Wikispaces. I was queen of Wikispaces. But click on it, Julie. It's not going to be there.
It's gone.
It's gone. So then I was like, oh my goodness, our digital people need to update their links. But I haven't had time to send them an email on that yet. So if anybody else wants to, go right ahead.
Yeah, I miss my Wikispace. I had a Wikispace as well, and everything library was there, and it's gone.
We used to teach these types of webinars and college classes all on Wikispaces. We did, at the state library, we did the school library boot camp through Wikispaces. So yeah, I was very attached to it, but I'm liking this HyperDoc idea too, as well as, of course, for my students, Google Classroom. It's even, I think Google Classroom's even easier to get going and building things on. Okay, so we pretty much have done the explaining part, but of course you might want to take some time later and go back and click around on this. So I put the Future Ready libraries link there for you too, just so you know that these are all connected. So when we explore, I would like us to take a look at the archives, because go ahead, Digital Learning Day 2018. The archives are something for you to go look at if you want ideas, not only about like who you might partner with in your school, your community, outside of your community. I'd encourage you to partner with your public library even. And you could take a look at the maps. I didn't see much from North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming, but I have to confess, I was not on this map in 2018 either. So we've already taken a little, I've jumped ahead and already taken a few clicks and looks at the videos and the lessons. But at the bottom of this Digital Learning Day archive for 2018, and you can also see it on the left-hand side, are the recordings of their webcasts. And these are national leaders in the field of digital learning that do this every year. Every time I listen to it, there's something new that I hadn't heard about. So again, it might be something to share with your staff too, or especially your other, like your computer teacher or someone who's involved with that type of thing. And of course, they have a little bit of a topic every time. This was blended learning, blended teaching. And I'm talking really fast, so please, guys, put it in chat or just unmute yourself if you have questions or comments. Basically, what I like to say is, like, for instance, with my 8th grade classroom, I'm not doing anything different for Digital Learning Day that I might not do on any other day. But I'm getting, I'm putting our school on the map, and I'm getting that extra, I guess you could call it, it's free PR, to say, oh, look what they're doing there. Because I think often people think, well, I'm not doing anything big and excellent or anything different. But that's not what Digital Learning Day is all about. They want to know what's going on all the time. You know, it doesn't have to be a big project. Shelley was just telling us earlier about her kids were doing a project using the green screen. I mean, that could have been something that you put on, a lesson that you know is coming up.
Yeah, Shelley.
There's
Shelley
nobody that,
comments about using Edmodo regularly. And so, yeah, that would fit in entirely with the day. And so
exactly.
you could use that. And oh, good, Christy's going to give it a go. So that's awesome.
Excellent. And I'm sorry, Julie, I'm so busy talking, I wasn't following the chat.
Oh, that's okay. I'm watching the chat for you.
Okay.
I'm running the things behind the scenes. Well, and what this makes me think about is this is a really easy way to, like you said, Joan, get recognition for what we're already doing. And so just being more, and I've been watching the Twitter and watching the Facebook page for the online class, and a lot of people are like, oh, I've tried this before and I haven't tried this, or, but it's being more deliberate about what we're doing and conscientious about that, so that it's just, it's kind of exciting. And I think it's kind of fun when if we could fill up South Dakota, North Dakota, and Wyoming.
Exactly. And what I had started to say is, you don't have to write a report when it's all over and tell anybody how it went, except locally, if that's something that you'd like to do. And, it might be something that you ask, your school newspaper or your local press to talk about too, just for announcements. One of the other things that, oh my goodness, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, one of the other things is, I really like that they know that there's a lot of stuff going on after school. So if any of you have after school programs, it might be something they do that you simply help them connect to this page, to this website, and they might not be aware of it. Again, it's spreading that information. And I'm hoping someday we come to the point when we don't have to make a big deal about Digital Learning Day, because it's just like every other thing that we do. It's a tool, and it's integrated, and it's what's best for kids and their learning. But in the meantime, it's kind of fun. So what I'd like you to do now, and we'll use the chat to do this, is just brainstorm an idea or two, and Edmodo's already been thrown out there, that you might be able to plan for your library, or you might want to collaborate with a classroom teacher. Like I collaborate with our kindergarten teachers all the time because they love the 8th grade reading buddies. And just give us a brief, quick idea in the chat. And what I would do is look at something you're already doing that you could highlight. I have to say, being part of this cohort is one big thing. But also, you want to include your students, your staff in some way, but also your students. My students love that we're on the map.
Oh, I bet.
So I think everyone's thinking that's good.
Oh, Julie says, oh, fun. She's going to, she's been talking to a 5th grade teacher about using their green screen to get her kids to use it to create their project. Oh, that would be perfect.
Nice.
Ooh, Janie's doing SharePoint Teams. Yes, communication with staff. Definitely. And show your staff that you're on the map. Show them that they're on. Oh, Do Ink is so fun. The green screen app by Do Ink, Shelley says. So yes, it is so fun. I'm excited you guys are doing stuff with
Plus,
that.
what you might want to do is that it's your mission to get, maybe 3 classroom teachers to put their information on the map. Again, if you look at the legend, you can put things, individual classrooms can put things. It doesn't have to be just the library or just the school.
Oh,
it can be multiple postings to the map from one school.
Erin says she's going to have her students create a comic strip using a website, and they usually do this at the end of the year, but she's going to bump it up. Carrie's going to be launching a Girls Who Code Club. And, oh, Julie likes the comic strip idea too. Oh, fun.
Yes.
Do you have to create an account to put it on the map, Joan?
No. Nope.
I think it's just as easy as filling out this form.
You fill out that form, And yep, it's nothing whatsoever about having an account. You fill out that form, and that is what goes when you click on the map. It's a lot like Google Maps, but I thought even easier.
Oh,
And I
Shelley, are
didn't
you
put,
still doing Girls Who Code? Oh, good. I have been gone like every Monday. Um,
oh,
and Stephanie has a coding event. Good. Yes, I know not having to create an account is great if all you got to do is and you'll see here that your name and your email are not published, and so that helps.
right. And I just put the school. I didn't put a GPS location or my exact school address. And the other thing is, at the top of the page, you saw, of course, they have a big presence on social media for Digital Learning Day. And so one of the things you could do is just follow them on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. You can creep around
See
and
what
maybe find out what it's all about this year too. I remember when it was new back in 2012, I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And then we watched it for a while before we actually, so I'm thinking that most of the participation happened in 2013. Okay.
we've got some really nice ideas.
And I think if you look over at Kristen's book, the Digital Citizenship book in chapter 5, you may come up with some other ideas. This is one event that she highly recommends. And if you go down on the, or my version of the HyperDoc,
on your agenda.
yes, on the agenda there.
Uh-huh.
These are follow-up activities, but whether you want to take the class for credit or not, I put these all here so you could see other things that they highly recommend in chapter 5 are the Mystery Skype, there's Pen Pal Schools, there's the Global Read Aloud, which I cannot tell you enough how much we love that. And then, of course, the Skype in the classroom. So I would encourage you, if Digital Learning Day maybe doesn't look that interesting to you, to click into one of those other things. Right now is a great opportunity for the Global Read Aloud to participate as a professional because they're asking, you do have to sign up for this, but they never contact you in any way. But they just have you sign up because they're tracking where people are all over the world and counting how many participate. But what's really cool is right now, the Global Read Aloud is asking for recommendations for books at all grade levels for next year. 2018, of course, is over. It goes through from October through the beginning of November. But my students and I are still in touch with our reading partner class that we connected with. It's outside of Austin, Texas. And we did all kinds of things with them. We of course, read the book that was recommended for 8th grade, Refugee. And then we did Flipgrid, and we did Kid Blog, and what else? Oh, we did Padlet. We did the different types of conflict in a novel using Padlet. That was fantastic. I have to say, though, my 8th graders just do not like to put their face on Flipgrid. And the kids in Texas were only a little bit more, agreeable than mine were. I'm thinking I have to get them used to it younger than 8th grade.
Oh, Shelley says.
Oh, the ELA on Canva,
Yes.
the Holocaust unit. Yeah, and that we did Refugee, and that fits right into. Then I did Freedom Writers Diary excerpts, and now we're into our Anne Frank Holocaust unit. So I've had so many fantastic connections through that. And of course, you never know, Skype in the classroom. I've always been amazed that when we Skype, when we ask people if they'll Skype with us, especially authors, we've never been turned down and we've never been charged. I'm still amazed. Every time I read a book, the kids will go, I suppose we have to ask them to Skype with us now. And I'm like, of course we do. Any other ideas? Keep putting them in. And please, unmute your mic and talk to us too, besides chatting. We're still a pretty small group. Okay, one thing I can say about Mystery Skype, that has also been fabulous. We connected with an ELL group. Trying to remember where they were from. But they spoke like 4 different languages, and then we spoke Lakota back to them. So we had a great time with that. You can find all kinds of connections. Has anyone else used Mystery Skype?
So you're just Skyping with other classes?
Right, but then you follow a format where you're trying to guess where they are. So the kids don't know where each class is. We prepared questions ahead of time. You know, things like, are you east of the Rocky Mountains, or, you know, are you west of the certain landmarks? So it's good geography skills too, as well as thinking up clues. And I have to tell you, when we did the Mystery Skype, one of the other class's students had one of their school t-shirts on. So one of my kids noticed that right away, Googled it, and we said, "Are you?" And he had found the correct school. So that was fun. And they always warn me now, don't wear anything that has the school name on it.
And so if Joan has the link to the Mystery Skype on the agenda for today, down under further reading, and that it's super easy. You just go ahead and find one that you're interested in, and you can click in and start communication with them. There's also the Skype in the classroom, and this is another one that you can do virtual field trips, you can do Skype lessons, that type of thing. And so there's some really cool things with that.
Have you seen Google Expeditions for virtual field trips?
Yes, those are really good too.
And now they have I think it's Tour Creator. And so you can kind of create your own tour. And I was trying to create, I'm in the process of building one for Western South Dakota.
Oh, fun.
Oh, cool.
The Black Hills.
And again, the whole point of this is that you and your students are participating with people outside, you know, of your classroom, your library, your school. But also I've seen where districts have, you know, with multiple schools have done this just to connect with a school across town.
Well, and my favorite is, you know, Shannon Miller has used Skype to connect with a farmer in her community. It's like her brother-in-law or her cousin or something, so it's a relative, but he comes into their classroom once a month, and, you know, different times, and so it's during calving season, and then it's during planting, and then it's during harvest, and, you know, I mean, and so the kids kind of get to see. And so even though they're in a small town, she says they have kids that have no farming experience. You know, they're surrounded by them, but they don't have any knowledge. And so it doesn't have to necessarily be a big production.
Right, and it could be outside of the U.S., but we have found, like, here's another funny story. We had Global Read Aloud partners last year, and they were from Georgia, and they were asking each other what they like to eat. And one kid said, we love one of my kids, we love fry bread. And the student from Georgia kept saying, rye bread? They didn't know what fry bread is. So there's lots of, you know, cultural sharing. We had to send them the recipe.
Oh, and Christy said that she's done regular Skype with authors and also with a scientist. So that's nice.
Oh, nice. What did the scientists talk about? You could just unmute yourself, Christy. Well, we can come back to that.
Oh, here I am. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Okay, hi. We Skyped a scientist in California, computer scientist with 5th graders in our school.
Oh, wow.
And prior to Skyping with him, they knew he was a computer scientist, and they did research on what computer scientists do. And then also with all of the elementary, we Skyped with an author in the auditorium, and she also did science experiments with them. So she was a scientist and an author, so that was fun.
Wow.
Very
And did you have them develop questions and stuff ahead of time then?
Yes, I did. And then I had like 1 or 2 students from each class come forward and be prepared with their questions. But it was just wonderful, and the teachers loved it. And my idea was to get them clued in on how to Skype and how easy it is. But I don't, they were very excited about it, but they kind of wanted me to keep doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, I think the more you do those types of things and you make those connections and the kids get excited, it's good modeling for everybody.
Yes, and it is about the kids, whoever does it.
Right, but it's good modeling for those other adults.
Yes.
Okay, and of course, I could talk all night about the Global Read Aloud. It's just like my favorite thing ever. I didn't even see I put that above Digital Learning Day, but Digital Learning Day, it's quick and simple with lots of benefits to that. So basically, I was leaving time for lots of discussion. So if you have questions related to this or anything, let us know. Just put them in the chat or unmute yourself. But basically, the things and the follow-up activities after the further reading, the assignment and the online discussion, that's if you are choosing to take the webinar series for credit. And then we have upcoming events. We want to make sure, and I think everybody online does know that the online course #1 deadline is January 31st. I have been reading fabulous lessons and really enjoying the back and forth information, not only on Twitter, but on Facebook. And I'm trying something new. And when we're all done with the course, I'll share this with everyone. Every time there's a tweet, I've been saving it to a Wakelet. I have almost 200 tweets in there. And part of my experiment is I wonder how many tweets will fit in a Wakelet, or if there's a limit or not, but also because that's a lot of good conversation, and then we have the record of it without having to keep searching through Twitter. And Julia, the next course, the online course, the topic is OER, Exploring Free Resources for Your Learners. Julie, do you want to talk a little bit about TIE?
Yes, the TIE conference. You guys, I was just looking. It looks like most of you have filled out the survey about if you can come to TIE or not. The conference is April 7th through the 9th. We are having a dedicated in-depth for our cohort on Sunday afternoon. So from 1 until 5. It's 4 hours, 1 to 5, on Sunday afternoon, and then you'll be able to go to the opening keynote and everything. So what'll happen with this is you've told me what you need for hotel rooms. You've told me if you're coming or not. Registration for the TIE conference is not open yet. Do not register for the TIE conference until I send you the code. You will get a code that will give you free registration to the TIE conference, and then you can register yourselves for the TIE conference. And then I will look at what you need for hotel rooms, and we'll get the hotel rooms, and we'll get your confirmation and numbers out to you, so you have that handled. And that is pretty much all of the information about the TIE conference. And so once you're done with the TIE conference, you will have to write a short reflection, and it's very similar for those of you that have gone to the TIE conference in the past. It's just a short reflection, and submit that back to me and then you'll get your graduate credit for the TIE conference, and the grant will pay for that. So that's pretty much the TIE conference.
And I want to reassure everyone that because we did not play the AASL card game in October, I am bringing the card games, and we are going to play that game.
This game
on Sunday of TIE.
It's been on my desk since like September.
We made lots of copies.
I know.
So, and that'll just be a way for us to brush up on the AASL standards. And again, this has come up. Those, standards in no way are meant to be memorized. I mean, we use them a lot and you get to know them quite well. But again, it's an outline, it's a guideline, it's a way to keep moving ourselves forward. That's why they keep updating them. And we'll be looking not too long into the future when the South Dakota school library standards will be updated. They've been working on those and taking them before the board for the hearings that are required. The other thing to remind you is the webinar series right there. February 7th will be the next one, then March 7th, and then April 4th. And again, if you're not taking these for credit or you don't want the CEU, these are optional. They're just based on the book, Digital Citizenship in Action by Kristen Mattson that you all have. But also we'd like them to be, our informal time to concentrate on these topics and see what's going on in your individual libraries and schools too. So comments?
Will other
Questions?
participants be able to join the Sunday session with us, or is it limited to our cohort? We talked
Oh.
about this. There's enough of the cohort. We're going to limit it just to the cohort, just because not that there's anything secret or anything, but because we didn't get to meet in the fall face to face, we just want to limit it to us for this year, and then next year we'll kind of wait and see. And yes, Michelle, I will get you a copy of the book. So thank you I didn't know which Michelle you were, if you were Michelle Ottos or Michelle Cass. And so we have a new participant in the cohort. We had one of the Wyoming participants had to withdraw. And so, well, librarians should be mysterious. Yes, Shelley. That's what we are, is mysterious. So yes, so I will get you a book. I was just thinking about that as we were getting started. I was like, I have to send Michelle a book. So very good. So welcome. What do you need to bring to the conference as far as tech things? All the things. I mean, everything that you wouldn't leave the house with normally. So I would bring a laptop or an iPad or something so that you can be online, and otherwise that's sufficient.
Never leave home without at least 2 or 3 devices.
Joan, you went east for Christmas and you forgot your iPad behind.
I know, and I suffered. All I had was my smartphone and my laptop, and it really bothered me.
Crypto style. So yeah, but yeah, definitely a technology, a computer or a laptop or a iPad or something. So yeah. I am so excited for the TIE conference. It'll be good to see everybody.
And please feel free if you want to chat about something else right now. Again, this was an overview, and I hope you go back to the Digital Learning Day site and take a look at some of the archive stuff, and also talk with people at your school, talk to yourself, and see what you might put on the map. I think the assignment is, if you're taking this for credit, the assignment's pretty straightforward. Again, we want you to do things that you're going to actually use during this whole cohort experience, excuse me. So please let us know. Thanks, Christy. It's going to look into digital learning and global reading. And yes, all of you have, I know, a favorite that you could recommend for the global reading titles for 2019. What they do is for the primary kids, they usually pick an author or an illustrator for picture books. And then they have beginning chapter books. Then they have an upper elementary book, then middle school, then high school. So there's quite a few titles that are part, and you can see some of the past titles when you go to the Global Read Aloud site. But they are looking for all kinds of ideas. I'm not used to librarians being quiet. Maybe that's just because I talk all the time.
Well, if we have no more questions, oh yay, Christy signed up for Global Read Aloud. If you have no more questions, the research, the archive will be posted. You have the resources for today, and we will see you guys in February for the next webinar. So that is February 7th, and then we will also. So once registration for the TIE conference is available, I will get the code and get that sent out to you guys. So you'll be able to have that.
Oh, thanks, Shelley. I haven't read that one. Miscalculations of Lightning Girl.
And Karen says she's going to look into global reading and Mystery Skype with your geography teachers. Oh, Chef Ramsay would Skype with your culinary arts teacher? I don't know. It never hurts to ask.
And that's my philosophy.
I was gonna say that's it. And actually, Joan actually has her students ask, and so Joan doesn't ask as much as her students ask.
Because we write formal emails, because to me that's more of a real world skill that they need than always writing essays. I could give you another example. I had them all write a formal email after we finished the Freedom Writers one year, and to Erin Gruwell, the teacher. She Skyped with us. Absolutely free. The kids loved it. And they kept saying, you know, they kept asking her a lot of questions about the movie, which was fun too, because of course we watched that.
Oh, this is awesome. Carrie says that she's going to think her geography teacher would love Mystery Skype too.
Good idea.
This is great.
And also the thing with the Mystery Skype, teaching them to ask good questions. Now, some people, when they Mystery Skype, they only want questions that you can say yes or no to, but I have not limited my kids to that, because we worked on our questioning skills. Okay.
Oh, Janie wants to know some examples of the questions. Can you, because you gave us a couple examples earlier about, you know, is it west of the Rockies or east of the Rockies or those kinds of things. What other questions did you ask?
I think one of my kids asked how many letters were in the name of the state they're in. They asked things like what the weather was like, because if they said, you know, we never have snow, that helped. I'm trying to think, okay, they asked things like, are you on the East Coast? Are you by an ocean? Those types of geography questions. And then we even said, you can find us along Highway 212. I mean, things that they could have gone to Google Maps or MapQuest or any of those things to find information.
Nice. Well,
cool.
That helps actually. And did you see that Danette says that they are starting Freedom Writers diary soon in their ELA class?
Oh, cool. What grade?
8th grade. So her 8th grader.
Oh, we need to connect.
And Amy Jo says she's going to try some things with her international students. Oh, fun. They went to an elementary school to read a book to them and interact, and they loved it and want to do more. Maybe Skype is the way to go. And that really can be a good way to have those ongoing interactions and connections is through Skype, especially if you have that distance, you know, even if it's just a few blocks. In the wintertime, it can be a long way.
Well, yeah, and you can use technology to write. We use Google Slides to write picture books. And then you can print them, or they can just use their device to read them to the elementary kids. Or you just, share them so the elementary kids can read them on their own too. There's lots of things that you can do with that.
All right, Joan, you'll have to connect with Danette. She's going to connect you to her English teacher. She's not teaching the book, but her ELA teacher is.
Yeah, and we finished already, but my kids and I would still love to connect and find out what they think about that.
That would be fun. Danette, that could be your first Skype. It could be a mystery Skype. You could coordinate it. Brownie points all over the place.
And I have to tell you, one of the problems we have with Skype is being on Mountain Time, because we had so many Eastern Time people want to Skype, but it just doesn't work out. So that's one of the reasons Flipgrid is nice. It doesn't matter about your time zone. I've also taken all my kids, I mean, the other teachers have been very generous and let me take all the kids at a time that's not their class time, just so we could all be in a Skype too. So, you know, encourage them to be flexible.
Well, this is cool. Well, if you guys don't have any more questions or anything, this has been really, really, I am really excited to see what you guys do. It's been, like I said, the conversations on Facebook and Twitter have been really, really good, and it's been fun to see that growing. So we will see everybody back again on February 7th at 4:30 Mountain, 5:30 Central. And as always, if you need anything in the interim, you can get a hold of us. So thank you guys for hanging out with us this afternoon.
Thank you for sharing all your great ideas.